Hello and welcome to our show. Bioticron presents Let's Talk on COVID-19. Well, like every other episode, today also we have with us an expert in his own field, who's Mr. Suman Bora. He deals extensively in furniture and interior designing. So we'll talk to him, we'll try to know about the market situation, and he'll tell us more and give us more information about how he's functioning his business in this lockdown. Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
So this is a small gift for you. This is prepared by the economically downtrodden women,
Okay.
and whatever they earn, they run their family from it.
Okay, that's nice, very
Yeah,
nice.
that's
I'll
for
keep
you.
it. I'll keep it.
So Mr. Bora,
Yes.
tell me about your background. How did you start?
See, like I'm from Guwahati only. Like I studied I did my schooling here in Guwahati itself. I did my graduation from Guwahati. Then I did my MBA from Guwahati University. Like after doing my MBA, because that was around 1999. So the corporate thing was booming and MBA was supposed to be a great thing to do. So basically what I did, I just shifted to a corporate field. And I
That was the booming of corporate.
That was the booming of corporate, though not in Guwahati, but there are a few corporate houses in Guwahati that during that time. So I got into one of them. And I worked for two separate companies for around two years. But then there was always one thing in my mind which I was always thinking when I was studying also, like something I should do on my own. And I'm a type of person I don't like being told by somebody what to do. I rather think like what I should do it myself.
That's the attitude of a young person, mostly.
Maybe that period it might be a different attitude, but yes, that was the thing in mind. So like I thought of doing something on my own, and I just one day thought like, okay, enough is enough. I'm not working for any company right now, and I'll start something on my own. And then the furniture thing came to my mind first, and I was basically a person like who always liked beautiful homes. When I used to go with my parents or some house, I always to look after their furniture and all. So I had something in between in my mind always to do something on furniture. And during that time, I was for some time in Delhi, and so I saw a boom in wrought iron furniture.
Wrought iron?
Wrought iron, WRAUGHT, wrought iron furniture. It's an iron furniture, but wrought iron is a different, cast iron is a different, and the normal, what you call iron furniture is totally different. So what I thought like, why should not I introduce wrought iron furniture in Guwahati? And I started introducing in Guwahati from that time. And then the journey started.
Okay, great. What is the difference? You've been working for someone else and then you've now been working on your own for 19 years.
Yes.
So what is the difference between working under someone and working on your own independently?
See, it is not necessarily a big lot of difference between working under somebody. You don't say under somebody, you associate with him. So when you associate with somebody else, like you have your own thoughts, he has his own thoughts. Maybe the goal are same, but there is a professional changes in thinking process. So like I always think that like when I work on my own, I give my 100%, and if I also get wrong on that, I can only blame myself and nobody else.
Yeah.
So that's the fun of working for yourself and not working under somebody or for someone.
So what is the attitude, or what have you learned maybe from your boss or your superior that you have inculcated in yourself now, and you make sure that okay, my staff does this and this thing, and maybe you know go to the ground, look things on your own, unlike many other people.
Okay.
So what all are the things that you make sure
That's a
about?
nice question you have asked. Like the basic thing was what I learned from my immediate boss when I was working for some corporates. It was like one of my boss was very nice. It was very progressive, and the best thing he used to do is to delegate things. Like he will tell you, okay, Suman, these are the things you need to do for during this month, and he will not come and tell me how to do it. If I ask him, he will tell me. He will not poke his nose over me, and he'll give the independence to work at your own pace.
So that you can own it and do it on your own.
Yes, you own it and you do it your own. That's what thing I have inculcated with my subordinates. Like whenever I give her a job, give him or her a job, I say that this is the things you need to do. If you need anything, you can come to me. I'll not go on to you. And when you finish it up, just give it to me on time. That's it.
So that they're also responsible while doing it.
Yes, see, there is two things. You have to be responsible also, and if you are accountable, then the responsibility reflects on the accountability.
Yeah.
And if you are not only responsible and not accountable, the things will not go right all the time.
True. So Mr. Bora, it has been 19 years of experience in this field. So what are the differences that you feel now and like back then, before 19 years, what used to be the scenario of this field and what is it now?
See, way back in 19 years back, there was no such of a technological thing as now there is present. Like earlier, what was happening? Like we have to explain a client. Like if I'm going to make your bedroom like this, I have to explain it. I have to make him or her visualize it, how to do it. I just did some sketches, and I had to do a lot of things, making them understand. It was a long period to make that person understand what I'm trying to do. But now, in advent of time, like this, all 3D designs have come. So now it's more easier for us. Like we give up a design, and we talk to our customer or our client, and they accept it, and then we finish the work. Now the biggest problem is that like the clients come up with their own designs. They will download from internet. They will say, okay, Mr. Bora, I need this kind. Then I always have to interact with them. If you need this kind, this is already made in somewhere else. So why you need the same thing? Let me do a little bit of changes out here. So it becomes a little bit.
Do they agree to it at once? No, do those people who come up with a design and
that's the communication skill you have to pursue them, to explain them.
It must be difficult for you at times to convince your clients that.
Yes, it is difficult, but ultimately, see, the basic point is that if somebody comes to make his house and he comes to me and okay, Suman, please, you have to design it. See, I have to look at his taste. I have to know what he actually needs. It's not my design. I'll just incorporate with him. So I have to discuss a lot, and so whenever I present something, I believe and I imagine that person is looking for that, and so that's that thing I should put here, so he'll get excited and he'll accept it. That's the process. Like
when you speak about this, one thing that comes to my mind is there are three personalities or three professions: engineers, architects, and interior designers.
Okay.
People are confused about what's the exact role of them. Do they work in coordination with each other, or just one profession is sufficient to build up a house?
No, see, as far as civil part of the construction is concerned, that's an engineer comes. The architectural part also comes because you have to build a house in a proper way.
Okay.
That is your job. And architecture also does the interior dimensions and all. And the interiors, what they do finally, the inside the house, what is to be placed, what is to be done. The interior designers exactly does that. Interior designers manage the space inside, manage the design, manage the whatever things a client requires. That is the part. It's like the civil engineer will give you the building. The architecture will give you the building also. They have their own part. That's a huge part. Architecture, like they cannot make a mistake. We can make a mistake, little mistake, but architecture or engineer cannot make a mistake.
Apart.
It's fall because they are more into a technical aspect of the thing, and we are more into designing. The inside part, not the outside part. We are not on the structural thing of the building as a whole.
Again, coming down to your profession, what prompted you to take up this profession? Like, why only furniture and interior designing? Did you always have an interest in designing? As you said that you liked furnitures, you liked shopping for furniture of your own place. Oh, how did this design part came in?
See, when I started furniture, like basically all the furnitures, I said like I started with Rotan furnitures, and suddenly like first prior to when I started, I brought the Rotan furniture from Delhi, but after that, like I set up my own setup in Guwahati. So I had a person like I had a person who could make the Rotan furniture. I got it from Mumbai. So whatever design I make, he used to make. So in the process, when furniture came, then when the furniture goes to a house. Then when the furniture goes to a house, you think of the house.
Yeah.
So when you put that furniture on a house, then you tend to think about like in what kind of place that this set of furniture will look nice. So
You
that way,
visualize the thing.
Then that when I thought like, okay, why don't I venture into this interior thing? Because I have some ideas, and it's basically visualization, and it's basic embarking on the style, on the concept. And so I was aware of it, so I just started, and it followed. And people are generous enough to give me like many works after I did this.
Even now, though interior designing has flourished in the market, yet it is not so famous or popular. Maybe people think, all right, we can hire a mason and give him the design and we can build it on our own. People don't tend to, take this many of the population does it, like, but people tend to think that we can design the place on our own because we'll visualize the place, we'll bring the furniture, we'll do things. What do you think is the difference between hiring a professional interior designer and not hiring one and designing the space on your own?
See, if I talk first, like everybody is an interior designer. Everybody, it's not a rocket science job. Like the only difference between a person who is building his house for the first time and we as an interior designer are building same kind of houses in for numerous times adds to our confidence, adds to our see a normal person will come out to make his house, he will not know about the different kind of materials, different kind of things that has come into the market. We know it because we are directly related to this profession. You don't go to a doctor having a fever, who having a fever, you go to a specialist.
Yeah.
And the interior designers are specialists in this system. So taking interior designer will basically put things as you like it in a very professional way. That ultimate outcome will be what you have accepted when you have started off doing it. That's the difference.
So, professionals can execute the plans that you have in mind, your clients have in mind, better than the clients do it themselves.
I'll say yes, better, but again, there are some more fast. And the basic thing is that, like, when we start off a work, the first thing what we decide on the budget. If you do it on your own, then you don't decide on the budget. So you go on doing it, and you don't realize how much you have spent it. But when you come to an interior designer, he'll give you the budget, he'll give you the space, he'll tell you exactly where the things will be there and what is your requirement. He'll put everything into places. So the things are actually thought of before you start the project itself. That's the basic difference.
You're speaking things so passionately. I feel like asking, have you ever had an unhappy client? Or have you ever had a tussle with your clients? Maybe what you wanted to convey to them, they didn't understand, or there was a misinterpretation, and then the final thing didn't come out to be good, or however they wanted it to be. Did you ever face?
No, I didn't have this much. I had tussle. It doesn't mean that I don't have tussles. Like the tussles was basically like, see, if you were designing something, it is not something like someone comes and tell you like tomorrow I need a design. So when you have to think about something, you need some time. And when you sit for a design, if the design doesn't come that time, it might come tomorrow, it might come day after. So there, in some cases, when we are making residential houses, so we have to think, we have to know the customer, and in the process, sometimes the project gets delayed. The entire process, like sometimes there's tussle arises. But what I found out after I've made the finishing, I've hand over the thing, I see a happy smiling face on my clients.
That's great. Apart from your professional life, you're so passionate and you speak, in such a practical manner. I want to know how sort of a practical or spiritual person you are in person. Does practicality and spirituality go hand in hand for you?
No, basically I'm a very instinctive person.
Okay.
I don't think too much. And I'm a person like, I think of the bridge only when I reach the river.
Okay.
Like I'll not think what will happen tomorrow, what will happen next.
And we won't equate that with being impulsive, right?
Impulsive is that the decision which I take taking into consideration the present situation and what is in my mind. And if I take a decision today and if I have to repent tomorrow, then it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
So whatever decision I take impulsively. I left my job, just came back in the evening and said to my wife and my mom that I've just resigned. In the morning I never talked that I will be resigning. So I take impulsive resigns. Most of the time it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. But
and
that's like,
whenever it doesn't, you're okay with it.
I'm okay with it. Point is that every day you can't be perfect.
Yeah, true.
And nobody is perfect. Because everybody has their own perspective to see you. And you can fit into everybody's like perspective. Okay, I have to be like this. So I'm on my own and I do on my own. And the only thing is that I'm positive. I think things will always be right, no matter what the situation is.
It reflects the practicality and the spiritual of a person you are. And, you're a very, very independent person. You've always loved freedom, and you've always given that freedom and passed it on to your family. Your son had taken a decision on his own. He wanted to do something and you let him do it. You backed his decision. How did it all happen? Will you tell something about it?
See, it's not me. It started with my father also. Like whatever I have a brother. Like we do whatever we wanted to do. Our father never stopped us. So that maybe that was something on myself, that I will never let anybody do something which I want to do it. If that person wants to do it, I'll back him up. Like whatever decision my son has to take, but he couldn't take the decision. We had to take. So that was
But
fine.
he wanted to do something. He conveyed it to you.
I
and
conveyed
you
to,
were
and
fine.
so I'm for fine. Except the point is that this is one life. You cannot do too many things. What I feel, whatever you do, just be happy. If you're happy and content, then nothing is more other important than that. Contentment is the main thing. If you are content, I don't think like the other things are not so important.
So just to let our viewers know, his son has played the state level cricket.
Yes, he has just played under 16 level. It's way to go.
Yeah.
He's preparing
So
for the
he
under
started
19.
with something, and it's the journey has been successful because he decided to homeschool when he was in 6th standard, I guess.
Yes, from 6.
Yeah, and your family has backed his decision. You
Even
supported
my
him.
mom and dad has backed it.
That's great, because we do not get to see this very often. In our space, we have people with potentiality and with talent, and children want to play, children want to go ahead. But this is not a very common idea that, all right, parents will say, all right, go play, and for us people, education is the main thing. First, अपनी पढ़ाई करो, उसके बाद whatever you want to do.
No, see, yes, that's fine. What you
Yeah.
said, like education is fine. Like you have to be properly educated. Okay, and education and intelligence are two different things. What I feel, I don't know about others. Like education is basically you get educated to a certain level. So my son has to go through the education process. But in that process, like if you like to do something, and if you are not doing that, the things will not go right. So if you like to do something which is your passion, whether you get successful or not, there's a different issue. The one thing what I feel, if you don't try and fail, it's better you try and fail. Because without trying, you'll never get to know whether you have failed or you have been successful.
This is such a rare attitude we get to see among parents. So I'm really grateful I get to meet you today.
Thank you.
So Mr. Bora, with this busy schedule and caught up days, how do you make time for your family? How do you balance your personal and professional space?
See, like I don't I spend a lot with my family. It's not that like I'm so busy. It's not that like I tend to like.
Because your mind space is always caught up with ideas, and you have to deal with clients, you have to deal with your staff, you have to execute your visualizations. So it's a lot of things.
But
that
again,
occupies your space.
again, like if you put places together, like if you think like okay, this is the time for them, this is the time for
That's
my
right.
work, and this is the time for my family. See, the point is that like my family is first. My family is first. If I'm not happy, whatever I am doesn't make sense. If my family members are not happy,
True.
then nothing matters. So again, I said what I said earlier. I am a self-content person, so I don't go for the higher things. I am very optimistic what I do, and I'm happy about what I've achieved or what I'll go through. That's it.
Just the right attitude at the right time. So when I say right time, how have you dealt with the lockdown?
See, lockdown for me was not such a big difference. Like if you separate into two things, one is financially and one is mentally, and it's mentally. Like mental part, like as I said, I used to. I am not the person who will say, okay, I had got the time to spend with my family, because prior to that I also spent my time with my family.
Yeah.
Like during this lockdown, like I tried to review back and see and could. Basically go on seeing about what I had done in my life. That was I had more time sitting at home. Introspection basically, and what I did funny, what I did right, what I did wrong. That was the one thing I did, and okay, financially everybody.
Yeah, in normal times you only keep going. You do not map your past, or you do not map your yesterday. You just plan for your tomorrow and go on with your present. So it's really a good time to introspect and look back to your past.
And if I say like, why you don't plan your future? Because if I plan something for my future, God has already made that plan. He will laugh at me. He has already made a plan. So I go on the process, and the thing is there. Then it will always be.
So you believe like God has written a script in pencil? I'll just pen over it.
I'm the person just to have to lead that way. Things are already written.
So financially, coming down to the financial prospect, how did your business suffer, or it has flourished,
Yes,
or
they-
it is just going smooth?
No, it's definitely like that's 3 months. Like everybody, it was total lockdown. So nobody was allowed to work. So like if nobody was allowed to work, there was no purchaser, there was no buyers. And
Since it's not an essential commodity or service your
it's,
business
it's
caters to.
see, my thing is the last of the essential thing. You need a bed, that's fine, but you need a beautiful bed, you need a nice bed. That's you think when you have a plenty or you are not locked up into something. The essential commodities will always be there, but this is not an essential thing. So it is being delayed, but now things are shaping up, and we have to live with COVID. It's just a situation, and we have to live with it.
You know, it was great talking to you today.
Thank you so
I've
much.
learned so many practical notes. You know, I believe today after talking to him that practicality, spirituality, both can go hand in hand. You just have to have the positive and the right attitude to deal with people and situations, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's my point. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. So viewers, you're watching us live on Facebook on Beautychrome Group, and you'll get to watch us on our YouTube channel Beautychrome Digital. Well, I'll like to take this opportunity to thank our partners India Tourism Incredible India, Spectrum Adventure, MJI Group, Bharatraj Astro Samadhan, Miraki Cake, Illuminous Aesthetic Clinic, Swarga Jyoti Events, Everyday Salt and Amolik. So viewers, don't forget to keep washing your hands, stay in a hygienic and clean environment, maintain social distancing, use your mask and stay tuned. I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, bye-bye, take care.
Welcome to Spectrum Adventures, an institution committed towards excellence in IITJ, NEET, AIMS and boards preparation. We offer courses for classes 11 and 12, repeaters and pre-foundation. We have a team blended with youth and experience, dedicated in nurturing young talents of Northeast. The administrative team maintains a special care unit for each and every student. We provide in-house hostel facilities. 4 years of hard work, constant dedication and support from my team, parents and teachers have helped me to start an educational revolution in Assam. Every year we have dominated in the results of NEET 2019 and JEE 2019 and is not an exception. This time, more than 55 selections have taken place out of 112 students, with Upasana Talukdar being the highest with 643 marks. Best team, best teachers and the entire dedication has helped us to grow to become the fastest coaching institute in Assam.
Welcome to Illumis Clinic. Look good, feel better. Illumis Clinic is Guwahati's first state-of-the-art aesthetic clinic located in the heart of Guwahati at ABC. Our services include cool sculpting, Exilis Elite, Botox and filler treatment, thread lifts, lasers and medifacials. Illumis Clinic was founded by Dr. Reema Das Malik in 2015 with the encouragement of her father-in-law late Bimal Chandra Malik and husband Dr. Saikat Malik, a laparoscopic surgeon himself at Narayana Hospital, Guwahati. Dr. Reema is a pioneer in bringing new technologies in the field of aesthetics in Northeast. She is a visiting faculty at Institute of Laser and Aesthetic Medicine, New Delhi and Allergan Medical Institute, Singapore. She has attended numerous trainings, seminars, conferences and workshops, both in India and outside, in the areas of aesthetics and cosmetology. She is the recipient of Dynamic Women Entrepreneur of the Year, Mumbai in 2016. Breakthrough Innovation in Modern Aesthetics and Skincare Practice, Mumbai in 2017 and Women Achievers Award, Guwahati in 2018 for significant contribution in the field of aesthetics and cosmetology by TV18 Group. Dr. Reema has worked hard to spread awareness about aesthetics across various industries and organizations in rural and urban areas in Northeast through organizing training programs and awareness campaigns. She has been the part of several talk shows in FM and news channels. She regularly writes articles in newspapers and magazines. She is associated with many beauty pageants in Northeast. The team at Illumis Clinic is proud to celebrate its 5th anniversary with you.